Daddy
You see,
Freeze.
if I'd logged out, hello, gorgeous.
Daddy Freeze.
Hi, Daddy Freeze.
Say
Hi,
good evening, sir.
how are you doing?
Good evening.
You are your mother's carbon copy. You remember the way
This
you
is the
look like your
2-year-old.
mom.
I know.
This is the 2-year-old I came to Canada with. He was 2 years when
I
we came.
was 2 years old.
How old are you now?
I'm 8 years old.
What grade are you?
3.
Handsome boy, fine boy.
I got a haircut.
You got a haircut.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay,
You got your
cool.
mommy smile.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So they say you should go. Want to discuss? Go. This is for adults.
No.
Thank you.
It's not for adults,
stay.
too. It's just for
Well,
grown-ups. When
yeah,
you say something is for
yeah,
adults, it's different.
stay.
It's for grown-ups.
Sorry following you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
That's
It's good to be here.
Good to have
Get
you
out of
here.
here. No. There's nothing to do upstairs. Okay? Put it on your phone.
Go.
How'd you prints?
You better sort him out.
I'm gonna distract this boy.
Sort him out so he will not come and harass you.
Yeah, exactly. So he has carried his wildlife, has gone.
Okay, so welcome, Zino Ojogbo. There's so much to learn from you today, especially with the discovery we made yesterday when the British government, they mock us, say, we they can't scatter their country. And then our own brother too can't go there, go to tell them, say, even though, like I always talk, our brother don't lie. It's just that he sent us out. Because
Yeah, if I don't talk that thing for that
he's
place,
not supposed
you shouldn't have said
to
it
talk
there.
away. And in all fairness, now them turn us to the uselessness where we be. So they are now trying to guard themselves from the us that they created, But you see, aside from that, moving on to other things, we have all noticed that the UK looks like is getting tighter and tighter for Nigerians. And a lot of people don't really understand how to Japa. Many people don't understand that it's actually a crime to get false financial statements. Most people that Japa come and meet me, Daddy Freeze, put 5 million in my account.
Yeah.
Put it there for 3 weeks, for 3 months. After that, I will give it back to you. One of my former colleagues came to ask for 20 million naira.
Wow.
Me, I can't even begin the week, say 20 million, okay? Where I know you before, where I'll carry you, did the 20 million give you? If, say, with me and you work together, you understand?
Yeah.
So people know these things. And also, how important is a master's degree? How important is education? Can people still use the educational route to travel? Or let me say this politically correctly, to Japa.
Yeah.
People still use the educational route to Japa. What about dependence? You just showed us your son. He's definitely, at 2, he was definitely dependent. You had 2 choices: living with your mother in the village to grow, then you come back and he'll be speaking strong pidgin, but with you. And then he gets the whole, I just got a haircut.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not like growing up in Nigeria is bad, but the where the world is right now is not where Nigeria is.
Yeah.
You need to understand that the world is in AI. I was watching something on my guy, tall guy Tycoon. He's been on my platform before. And he was saying, if you're mediocre or average, you're not going to have a job very soon. You have to be highly skilled and you have to be elite when it comes to your industry. Now, it doesn't matter in Nigeria. There are jobs available for you in Nigeria, like bus conductor, Okada rider, keke operator, POS operator. There's work available full Nigeria, but is that what you want to do with your destiny?
No.
But when you want to go into the world, you need some level of skills. You can't just be average anymore. So whatever it is you want to do, you've got to build yourself. So help these people, explain to them, teach them. And most of all, how can they contact you is the first thing I like people to say, because they're going to hear you. Some of them are going to be wowed. They're going to say, oh, wow, I like this person. And then the light is off and they now enter my DM like bees looking for Beyonce. Hey, what happened? Where's that lady? So first of all, how do they contact you?
Okay, so you can contact me on all social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, on TikTok. I'm everywhere with my name, Zino Ojogbo. That is Zino Ojogbo. Zino Ojogbo. That's where you find me everywhere. Any other account is counterfeit. Zino Ojogbo. Zino Ojogbo. So you find me on all social media handles. On all social media platforms.
I just pinned it right here. Did I get it? I just pinned it right here. Is that it?
Oh, I don't see the pinned comment because let me type it. So
okay.
Please go.
Type yours. So if you're watching on TikTok, by the way, still send me those money guns. Remember to follow my top 3 gifters on TikTok. If you're watching live on TikTok, it's Zino Ojogbo, even on TikTok. Zino Ojogbo. Follow Zino Ojogbo on TikTok, right? Somebody said that guy destroyed us. He did not destroy who does not want to be destroyed. He did not destroy who does not want to be destroyed. And they say when they lock door, window must open.
Yeah.
And if window no open, you go do like army robber. You go pass through city, break into the place. So if you're watching, are you on Facebook? I believe you're on Facebook.
On Facebook at Zino Ojogbo, Zino Ojogbo
on Facebook. All of you watching this live on Facebook. What about YouTube? Are you on YouTube?
Yes, I'm on YouTube. I have a lot of content on YouTube as well. The same name as Zino Ojogbo.
Okay, so it's a big brand. Wherever it is you're watching, it's Zino Ojogbo. Zino Ojogbo. Zino Ojogbo. Please kill that sound so it doesn't get into our.
Come to when God says now. Take my phone from you to work first.
Okay.
All right, so over to you, Zino. Let me hand them over to you.
Okay. I'm so excited to be here. Good evening, everyone. Yesterday, the whole internet went crazy. In fact, before even yesterday evening, when we watched the news on BBC, I'd already seen the news where the UK, that if you use the right word, if you go on the uk.gov website, they said they want to tighten immigration procedures so that people cannot bring dependents. What's the use of Japa if you have to leave your family behind? I don't know how you'll be happy in that place where you know that you cannot bring your family with you, right? So while we're talking about that, then we saw this thing. So first of all, I would like to say that I have siblings that live in the UK. The UK is a good country. I've visited them before and I have come back home to my home in Canada. But the UK is not the only study destination that you can go to. There are other countries that you can relocate to and that they are happy to receive you with your family. An example is Canada. Canada is happy to receive you, receive your dependents, bring your spouse, bring your children. All of you can come to study in Canada. So there are other study destinations that you can go to and not just the UK. So if the UK says that we're closing our doors from January, of course, go somewhere else, right? So that if you ask me a question today, that what about why is the importance of educational routes? So first of all, the education route is the fastest way to relocate to any country of the world. There are some countries where they don't even welcome immigrants. Like they don't have any other routes for you to immigrate to those countries. There are some countries like that. But Canada, of course, we know that Canada has the express entry, other relocation routes. But even with that, any country of the world, you can go there to study. Any country of the world. So the study pathway is the easiest and fastest way for you to relocate to any country of the world. So you can go to any country and study. So now that being said, why would people even want to study abroad? In addition to even being able to access the country, first of all, we know that everybody wants to upgrade their degree, right? They want to get better knowledge, build their career. So they're using education as a pathway to open all the doors of other opportunities for themselves. Studying in a country is and a very easy way for you to transition into that country, for you to transition into the workforce of that country, for you to transition to build your network in that country. So when you go to a new country, the study pathway is a very easy way for you to just ease into that country. And this is why many times you hear some people tell you that, oh yeah, they come abroad and maybe because they are not getting jobs because they have not studied in that country. I don't know if anybody has heard that before, but there are some people, it happens to people. I think I was listening to this guy's live session yesterday. I was like, some people will have to remove some things from their CV, some of their work experience just to get a job. But when you have studied in that country and you have the education of that country, it's like you are now easing yourself into that country. You are learning the way things work there. You are preparing yourself for the labor market in that country. Studying in that country is the easiest way for you to ease in and get your desired job that you want to get in addition to it being a pathway for you to get into the country. So
wait, in short, you are coming to tell us here in this live that everything that Tiamiu spoiled, you want to help us repair it.
Yes. So it's unfortunate what he said, right? It's not something that you should go and say in that kind of platform. But then it is very possible for you to relocate to other countries. Now let's even leave the UK. While the UK is a good study destination, they have good schools, good education there. Looking at it for the long term, transitioning to live permanently in the UK, and I know that there are some people here, Nigerians here from the UK, that are probably watching us. After studying, a lot of them struggle to get companies to sponsor them for them to be able to get their work permits. Many people, now this does not hold true for everybody, but in most cases, many of them have had to get certificate of sponsorship from care homes, where they have to work in care homes and sign a contract to work in a care home for 5 years for them to be able to get a work permit or to be able to stay back in that country. This is not what...
For them to stay back in that country, they have to do a for work.
Yes, so some of them have to sign that kind of contract.
They have to wash the backside of old people for 5 years.
Have to sign that kind of contract for them to be able to remain there. And this is not true in countries like Canada or in the US or even Australia, because your ability to get a work permit in Canada is not tied to an employer. As long as you have studied here, you are entitled to get a work permit. So it's not tied to an employer that you now have to be looking for the kind of job that you would normally not like to do. So an example is that even me that came to Canada, when I came to Canada in 2017 as an international student, as I'm sitting here today, I'm a Canadian citizen. So even while I am still in school, because there were pathways for me to get to permanent residence even as a student, and which I had to take advantage of. But this does not hold true in the UK, as an example. So this is another reason why I tell people that when you are considering your travel destination or your study destination, you need to think long term. Think beyond just leaving your country. Because for some people, they just, okay, when I get there, I would settle. Think beyond just leaving the country. Think beyond just getting the education. When you get the education, what's your plan? You have to plan. So if your plan, for some people, they just want to get the education, maybe their father has a big company, so they want to get the education so they can go back home and become the CEO of the big company, right? So these ones, then they can just go get the education and go back. But if you know that you want to get the education, build a career in that country that you have gone to, then you should think beyond just getting that education. After studying, what next? Am I able to get a work permit in this country so that I can get a decent job, or a job that befits my career? Because imagine spending £20,000 to go and do a course in project management, and you graduate from the course and you have to work in a care home. It's not fair. It's not what people planned for. It's not what people budgeted for. But that is the only way, the only opportunity many of them have to stay back in that country. And this is why I tell people that when you are planning to study, think it through. Go to a country where you can easily transition, get your work permit after study, you can easily get your permanent residence, and you are not tied to an employer, because that's the reason why people will go and take up jobs that they normally would not take up, all things being equal. So think about these things, and this is why Canada is a favorable study destination, because Canada, they welcome immigrants. They want the immigrants. They need the immigrants to take up the jobs in this country. The population, they have age population and the young population in between. They lack the workforce in between. So they need these people to come and fill these roles, people to work. So that is the reason why they bring immigrants, and they are welcoming you, and your dependents can come with you. You don't have to leave your children. You don't have to leave your spouse at home. I'd like to correct something here. Someone said, Madam, you married a white man for citizen. I remember I've said this thing here on this Daddy Freeze's life before. That because every time people always say that, you know, if it was easy, people should do it. Everybody will be doing it, right? I'm going to correct that impression that even before I met my husband, I was already a permanent resident. So I'm going to correct that impression here, because a lot of people would say that is what it is. No, that is not what it is.
One guy was also saying that he likes taking care of the elderly, that you leave Nigeria, go take care of elderly abroad. You don't get elders for your village. Why you not go your village, go to take care of elders? Stop lying. All of you that are doing half of a work abroad, it is because you want to really take care of elders to your village. We no get waiting to chop. We no get, go take care of elders for you. How can you leave your elders in the village and go and take care of abroad elders? And your excuses, you are looking at me, grown up, 6'1", 47 years old. You are telling me that it's because you love elderly people. Go back, Jeff. You no carry lie, come here. You are doing it because you have no other choice, or because the money is better than the other place. And here is Zino telling you that even that money you think is good, there are better monies in other places. Instead of you to listen and learn, you are arguing. If it tire you too much, if elderly people tire you, why not go watch their body? Listen and learn, you will not hear. This is what they are here telling you. You can also do it in Canada using scholarship. You don't even have to pay.
Yeah.
Zino, it's because they don't like to hear what.
Okay, yeah. So let's even talk about opportunities, like scholarship opportunities. There are more scholarships in Canada than you would ever find in the UK, right? So many people come to Canada and they are able to secure scholarships, and they are able to school on scholarships. And this is how I was able to school, and so many other people that have helped, who have been able to succeed to come to Canada. So again, I'm going to say this here, that I understand that when people here studying abroad, the first thing that they think about is money. It makes sense, because you will not go to school for free. So it only makes sense that you think about money. It tells me that, yes, this person is thinking. But then I would also like to mention that there are scholarship opportunities. So the lack of money should not just be the reason why you would say that this thing would not work for me. So you have to explore the scholarship opportunities. You want to study in Canada, in the US, there are lots of scholarship opportunities for people regardless of your grade. So it's just left for you to explore the scholarship opportunities and apply for the scholarship opportunities. And I'm going to prepare your mind, because some people will just be like, yeah, you know, see the way she's saying it, as if it's easy, as if when you just apply, you will just get the scholarship. So just like getting a job, scholarship is a numbers game. The first thing I want you to know is that these scholarships exist. They are there, and they need people to get them. Now, why does Canada have a lot of scholarships? Canada and the US, why do they have a lot of scholarships? They have a lot of scholarships because the universities cannot run without graduate students. So the universities need graduate students to do the research. So a professor that runs a research lab, like I work under a professor that runs a research lab, my supervisor will not wear lab coats and come to be doing the experiment in the lab. He would hire graduate students to say, okay, I have this project, I've gotten this grant from the government of Canada, and this is the project we are proposed to do. We have this money for 2 years. We need to do this project. Then he will hire graduate students. He will supervise them. They will do the work in the lab and write a thesis. While you are doing that work, the professor is paying you. Another opportunity for graduate students to make money, to get paid in Canada or in the US as an example, is that they get like graduate assistantship. So one of my friends went to the US and she used a graduate assistantship plus tuition waiver, and that was how she went to school, without paying out of her pocket. So what I'm trying to say is that don't rule yourself out to say that, okay, yes, you know, money, I don't have money, so studying abroad is not for me, because there are scholarship opportunities that everybody can explore, not only in Canada and the US, in other countries as well. I post them on my page from all the time. And one thing I notice is that even with the scholarship that I post the scholarship I'll post the information, post the name of the scholarship, post the information, post the link. That the truth, you will not believe that some people will come and be asking me in the comments, what is the requirement for this scholarship? It tells me that they did not even bother to click the link to at least read it to see whether they qualify. They will still come. What is the requirement for the scholarship? Do I qualify? I don't even know what your qualifications are. How would I know if you qualify? I said, do I qualify? What am I supposed to know?
Come. Tiamiu, Zino, they are all talking about a specific type of immigration.
Yeah.
Immigration via the education route.
Yeah.
Where one use boat, take go Libya, from Libya to Spain. No be you that they talk about. Remember one boy where they do car wash, right? Where one Japa go Canada. He hear Iran come. He come begin to tell me saying that if he's not be waiting, expect. This is not for car wash. This is not for mechanic. This is not for keke riders. This is for people who are going abroad to get an education.
Yeah.
Study route. Education route, meaning you want to travel to go and do masters. You want to travel to go and do masters and you have a baby. Zino is the perfect picture of what she preaches. She wanted to go abroad to study and she had a 2-year-old son. When I use ICM, at least for Canada, they know they pick picking for road. You know, you see as the picking resemble my happy king. So she's telling you how she did it. Person where they waka on top water, he gets stones when they match. If you follow him, you know go fall. So ask yourself, how can you do your own? Remember, if you be hairdresser, this session is not really for you. You be car wash. Nobody say you don't feel relocate using car wash program. But this particular session is not for you. Unless Zino one come another day, come talk to hairdressers, car wash, keke riders, keke napep riders, and bus conductors. Then there's a special side where you feel follow go. This one now for person where one go read book. Make I break them down to you. So we no go quarrel. The same thing the BBC and Tiami you were talking about. Because Tiami said most people that travel abroad don't need the masters. They just go so that they can relocate their families. Now so we carry our matter, go give Oyinbo people we kidnap us for 400 years. And like once again, it's always good to have clarity. Her handle is Zino Ojogbo, ZINO across all platforms, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. By the way, if you're watching on TikTok, send me those money guns and follow my top gifters. If you're my top gifter, something special for you on TikTok. So back to you, Zino. Let's talk about education and let the emphasis be on the educational route.
Yeah. So with the educational route, you can go with your families. In Canada, for example, your spouse will get an open work permit. An open work permit is a work permit that allows the individual to work any number of hours with any employer. So it's open in the sense that it is not tied to a certain employer. So if you say that you want to change job every month, you can change job every month. So your spouse gets that open work permit. Then your children would also get, you can apply for visit visa for them, or like something called open study permit for your children, and your children can study. Your children under the age of 18, so those below university, they will study for free without paying any school fees. And they study like, the education, of course, we know that the education in Canada is world-class education, right? So they study for free. And these are the things that we need to consider when we are going to study. As well, after you are done studying, so you finish your program, you can now apply for postgraduate work permit. Postgraduate work permit could be anything between 1 to 3 years. It depends on the length of the time you have studied while you are in school, anything between 1 to 3 years. And within that time, you can get a job, work, and then use that, use your employment, your work experience, and apply for permanent residency. So you can either apply via provincial nomination or you apply via the Federal Express entry. So these are like me, I use the Federal Express entry to get my permanent residence once I completed my master's. So these are the opportunities that exist for people, and these are the opportunities that we need to look out for. And I have not even had to pay tuition out of my pockets. In fact, I tell people that I've secured a lot of scholarships. Like, I got the scholarship from my university, institution scholarship. I got the scholarship from the Ontario state government. I got the scholarship from the federal government of Canada. So I've gotten so many scholarships, and it took me practice to continue to apply because I was focused on my goal, right? Because when you see the school fees expensive, so I was focused. I needed to be able to fund it. And I actually wanted the education, because for me to be doing a PhD, after I completed my master's, I'm doing a PhD, you will know that, okay, I need this education, I need the degree. I'm going to the school because I want the degree, because I want to use it for my career. And that's the reason why I sat down and I applied for all of these scholarships. And as a result of that, I've gotten the knowledge on how you can be able to secure these opportunities for yourself. So don't be scared when you hear that, okay, studying abroad because of tuition. Of course, the tuition is expensive, but you can secure scholarships. Someone asked me the question, the scholarship run concurrently. So scholarships are like contracts, right? So they have different kinds of scholarship, but basically it's like a contract. Like when I started my master's, my scholarship was for 2 years. So with your offer, they give you like a contract that tell you that they are going to give you whatever amount of money for 2 years. So for my master's, I was getting like $21,000 a year for 2 years. So they will tell you, for my PhD, the same thing, they'll give you like, we're going to give you this amount of scholarship for 4 years. So it's always stated there in your contract. Some people get maybe entrance scholarship. So if whatever the scholarship covers, they're going to let you know if it's 1 year or if it's 2 years or if it covers the whole of your program. So they are going to let you know. So, and now some people may be thinking that, but scholarship is for only first class. Is there anybody here that is thinking of that? Because that's the next thing that we'll hear, that, yeah, it's only people that have first class that get scholarship. And again, that's not true. I can see some people here that said that they got funding, they got scholarship, they got graduate assistantship. I'm sure that these people here, they have the experience. So you don't necessarily need to have a first class for you to be able to secure a scholarship. I don't have a first class myself. So in fact, there's somebody in the US that actually got full tuition waiver plus graduate assistantship, and she had a third class. Yeah, she had a third class. She's currently in the US. So now, regardless of what your grade is, you can secure a scholarship. You just need to find the right opportunity for yourself. Then another question that I normally get is age. Some people will say, you know, I'm in my 40s, it will not work for me. I posted a testimonial last week of somebody that is 46 years old, and she got, I think, $56,000 scholarship. She's a 46-year-old teacher. In fact, this woman, her first daughter is already graduating from a Nigerian university, and she secured $56,000 in scholarships. So these opportunities exist for everybody. Like I always say you need to be able to find the one that is suitable for you, so that you are not wasting your time applying for something that would not work. Somebody say my friend got $156,000 total in scholarship. I'm glad that these people on your life that I don't even know are saying it, because it happens, it works, right? So at the end of the day, you need to decide what you want to do. Do you want to actually do the right thing so that you can Japa legally, or you want to begin to struggle? Like I said, the UK right now, I know that a lot of people will not go there again starting from January, because they don't want to leave their family behind, which makes sense. I remember when I was planning to come to Canada, then family members told me I should leave my son with my mother and I should come first. Later, let him join me. I told them I'm not going to do that. I can't, because I will not be able to focus on my studies when I get there, because every time I'll be thinking about this boy, what he's doing. Like, my mind will not be in the place that I am. And I can understand that, because I'm a mother. So when a lot of women or a lot of parents, even dads, some men tell you that they cannot leave their family behind. Some women leave their family behind. Like, I also feel for them because I understand the way it feels where you have moved and your family is behind. I also know some people that have left their family behind, right? Let them come first, let the family come behind them. I see what they go through. A lot of them go through a lot of emotional pain because their children, their spouse, they are back home. So I can't imagine going to a country that will tell you that your family is not welcome to that place. I cannot fathom it. I cannot imagine that anybody would actually want to go there, except you are running away from your family, of course. But I know that people are not running away from their family. Talking about that, you know, there was one. I was driving past one pub during the Christmas period. You know, of course, Christmas is a time to celebrate. Families come together. And on their adverts, they wrote it on their signboard, "Come and hide from your family here." Hide from your family here. Of course, except you are running away from your family. I know that's not the case. So these opportunities actually exist. What is most important is that you should find the opportunity that works for you. And you should be diligent and disciplined enough to apply to these opportunities. I'm going to also talk about rejection because I find that some people, they submit one application and maybe they get denied. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm not doing again," or "It doesn't work." What are the chances that you would submit one scholarship application and that you would be successful? The chances is almost close to zero. Now, there's a few people that it has happened for. That class of people, they are very limited. It's almost close to zero that you do one scholarship application and you just nail it, that one scholarship application. Everybody suffers from rejection. And I've been saying it a lot these days that when I was applying to come to Canada, I applied to 3 schools. Memorial University of Newfoundland, University of Waterloo, and University of Alberta. 2 of the schools rejected me. University of Waterloo gave me the admission. So the reason why I'm putting this out there is just to manage people's expectations, because some people just feel like, you know, yeah, I've submitted an application last year and it did not work, so I'm not doing again or something. They just give up. Well, if you give up, that's on you, right? I cannot tell you what to do, but I'm just putting it out here for you to know that it's that rejections could happen. It's not everywhere you go to that they tell you yes. You just need to pick yourself up, get feedback. You get feedback and review your application and apply again. So these are a lot of things that I would like us to bear in mind when it comes to relocating via the study pathway. But it's very possible. It is the fastest way that you can relocate to any country of the world.
Somebody said another Tiamiu in the house. Obviously, sense is far from you. The day they were playing football in the next compound. That's why I can open your mouth and talk like this. Somebody is here to help you manage the damage that don't happen since yesterday. You come another tier. As in, how do they create this kind of people? Let me just not enter. You see,
the mindset.
The mindset is some people will come and tell you, it's not easy. Let me tell you, as Nigeria is bad, some of us are working in Nigeria and making it.
Of course.
It depends on what. Yeah. So when you sit down and all that can come to your already empty and porous mind is too hard, it will continue to be too hard for you for the rest of your life. Barack Obama did not think becoming a black president was too hard. Donald Trump did not think becoming a comedian president was too hard. They got up and tried, and everybody told them it will not work. Just as they told Barack Obama that it cannot work, it's the same way Barack Obama himself told Donald Trump that it cannot work. So people will tell you it cannot work. You know what you are made of. It depends on the individual. Are you ready to put in? You see, the poorest people on earth are those who can't afford to pay attention. As long as you can afford to sit down and pay attention, it is not impossible for you because you are listening. As you are listening, you are learning. I remember a story I heard about Bitcoin. Some students went to protest. Police was now chasing them. As they were running from police, one wore a t-shirt called Bitcoin. That time, Bitcoin never starts. So the guy running behind him was inside where police they chased them. See, Bitcoin. You know, so when people, they're different from us. If Oyinbo man enter house, they say ghost dey the house. Oyinbo go want go meet the ghost, follow and talk. Black man will carry afar come, carry pastor come before you know you go run come out. As they run from police, the guy say Bitcoin. He ask inside the run, where did they run? Say, what is this on your chest? He say, better find out about it. That's where the future is going. Now so the boy go carry all the money where he gets, go buy Bitcoin. As of 4 years ago, he was declared a Bitcoin millionaire at 17 or 18 because he bought in early. So when you pay attention to everything around you, you will be successful because you can hear and see what others can hear and see. Now, we're not even asking you to look under your bed. There's somebody on the live you are watching. You come here to gossip every night. It's our work. We know. We enjoy the gossip. But inside gossip, let us teach one another how to better our lot. Because if you go to Canada now, you start getting work. If I tell you to buy me money gun, you will buy like 5. As you are like this, you can't buy one money gun. It is your fault and it is my fault. Now, me, I'm doing my part to rescue you from where you are by giving you the information you need to elevate yourself from your current position to a possible higher height, where you can come back and buy me plenty money gun. And I'll appreciate it. It's not tight. You are not sowing seed. It is just appreciation for the upliftment you got while working with me. Instead of you to ask questions, come, I had to. I studied a Greek science. Is there hope for me? Come, I'm a theater art major. Is there hope for me? You are there saying it is hard. It will always be hard for you. Anywhere you go in this life, it will be hard. In fact, if last man stop you, to be hard. Your life is hard because you have already set up the mindset for hardship.
Yeah.
So people are asking, someone says, I studied a Greek science. Is there any hope? That person just typed that on YouTube. Is there any hope for a Greek, people who studied a Greek science, for instance? Are there any courses that are more marketable than others? Are there the kind of courses you would advise people to study? Or just study anything if you like, study food and nutrition, or if you like, study adult education. Once you just come to Canada, Canada is waiting with open arms. In fact, if you study Ojogbo self, Canada will say, yes, come, we have both. So are there particular courses or fields that people should look into? Are there fields that are more lucrative, more marketable, have more opportunities than others?
Okay, so there's something that they call program of best fit. Right? Program of best fit is choosing the right program for yourself based on, there are 3 criteria you look at based on your educational background, your work experience, and your career goals. So you have to choose the right program for yourself based on that. And this program of best fit is very important, especially if you are coming to Canada or even the US, where there is like a visa interview for you. Because many times some people just choose random programs and they are not able to defend it. Like when you write your study plan when you're applying for your Canadian visa, we have seen cases where people that have gotten rejected, they would normally order like something called GCMS note, where the visa officer will tell them why they were rejected. So some people have shared these notes with me, and sometimes they'll tell you that because you did not prove to them that your study was a reasonable expense. So let's say that you, from your work experience and your future, your past career background, you show that you've been doing very well, and you now come to do a course that would not put you in that kind of position that you're coming from. So they tell you that it's not a reasonable expense. So when it comes to like jobs, for example, really sincerely, in every field, every field, there are people that are making it good, and there are people that are on the average, and there are people that are making it be not so great, right? Like on low pay grades. But generally, like everybody knows, I see a lot of people mentioning tech. We know that this is a tech world, right? Everybody is heading towards tech. Me, I'm a chemical engineer myself, and I'm doing my PhD. All my degrees that I have is in chemical engineering. And my intention for doing my PhD is that I want to go into academia. I want to become a professor. So again, when you compare the salaries that they pay professors as against what people that have good chemical engineering jobs, good industrial chemical engineering jobs are doing, in many cases you find out that those people in industry earn well, earn better, they get better pay. But for me, I like to teach, and I love research. And being a professor in an academic setting will allow me to do those things that I like. So in systems like Canada that works, systems like in the US, you see people that work in like social service, so they make a lot of money, like social workers. So they make a lot of money. Social workers, people that are in the medical line. Just that when you come from another country, you come to Canada, you need to get your medical license, for example, which takes time. Pharmacists. One of my friend's sister, who is a pharmacist, I know when she came here, it took her like 2 years to get her pharmaceutical license for her to practice. But she's making loads of money. Then people in social sciences as well. You see those accountants, they call that accrual science. Man, those guys make a lot of money. So there are different fields. Even agric. Like, because I heard somebody saying agric. These days, we are moving towards sustainability. People that are looking into the environment, environmental sciences. So, like, there are lots of opportunities for everybody, and you just need to learn a skill. You said at the beginning, you need to learn a skill. It really is your skill that will set you apart. So you don't need to come here and you just get lost, or you don't know anything, or everything that you know is just maybe because you have a certificate, but you cannot even stand out. You don't even have any skill. So you really need to learn a skill. When I came to Canada, I'm not even going to lie, I struggled. Because I came here with my 2-year-old going to school. Before I started my school, I'd been out of school for 7 years. So I just came back to school. I struggled. But as a result of that, when I saw what my classmates were doing, most of them were young, fresh out of bachelor's degree. Me, I was there at 29 years old. These ones, they are 21 years, hot brain. 23 years old, they were hot, fresh out of bachelor. I'm like, am I in class with these kind of people? But see, I had to work hard. I studied. And there's something that I've learned. You have to make up for things that you don't have in other ways. While some people were getting 100% as their CGPA, my CGPA was 83%. But I had other things that I was bringing to the table. I was very good in research. I focused on what I was good at. And that's why when you go to my department today and you call my name, everybody knows, because I've published 10 academic papers. So you need to be good in, let them know you for something. You have to learn a skill, be good in something. And that skill could be anything. It depends on the area, the field that you are in.
Somebody said, how about somebody that studied Yoruba?
Okay, so when it comes to languages, I know that I saw one job in one bank. I saw one job in one bank the other day where they were looking for somebody that's Igbo-speaking person. It's in a bank in Canada. They said Igbo-speaking, that the person has to be able to speak Igbo. Please, can you guys go upstairs? And the person has to be able to speak Igbo. So, like something like Yoruba language, there are some programs that you can do regardless of your degree. An example is sustainability. So regardless of your background, your previous background, there are some programs that you can do. So you just need to find another program that you can do, because you cannot come abroad to do like a master's degree in Yoruba language. They don't have that here. But with your previous degree, some program will tell you that any bachelor's degree in education, any bachelor's degree in arts, any bachelor's degree in social science, you can fit into that program. So an example is this sustainability course, which is more like hot cake these days, because these days everybody's talking about sustainability. So that's an example of that kind of course. You can fit into that kind of program, or look for any other program that you don't need a specific, they're not specific with the kind of background you can come in with, and then you can now apply to those kind of programs. And somebody saying, what about IELTS? This IELTS is a big question. So when it comes to IELTS, IELTS is a test of English language. In most countries of the world, except for very few schools that would insist, in most countries, if you are from an English-speaking country and your previous degree was taught in English, they are going to waive the IELTS requirement for you. It means that you don't have to write IELTS. There are very few schools that would insist, but for most of the schools, you do not have to write that test of English. I know a lot of people dread this. People don't want to hear like you write IELTS, right? A lot of people dread it. But I normally ask people this question, like if a school have given you admission and they are giving you funding, and they tell you that the requirement for you to claim this admission is for you to write IELTS, are you going to write the IELTS? This is one question that I normally ask people, because there are a lot of things that you can negotiate. There are a lot of things that you can negotiate. Sometimes some people you can negotiate the fact that even if the school insists that IELTS is a requirement, you can negotiate with the school that if they can push the requirement forward, so that they should give you a conditional offer Conditional offer means that your admission comes with condition. On the condition that you would write the IELTS. So that just gives you the opportunity to say, okay, I've gotten this admission. The only thing I need to do for me to claim this admission is to give them IELTS results. Then you go and write IELTS results. When I applied to University of Waterloo, they insisted that I bring IELTS because they claimed that even though I was from an English-speaking country, my bachelor's degree was more than 3 years old. So it's only people less than 3 years old that my department was waiving it for. My bachelor's degree was more than 3 years. So I negotiated this with them that if they give me the admission, I would write the IELTS. I got the admission. It came with the condition that I bring IELTS. Then I went and I wrote the IELTS and gave them the result. So I ask people this kind of questions that if it happens that you get admission with funding and they say, okay, go and bring IELTS for you to claim it, would you not do it? Like, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice for a goal that you want to achieve? You have a goal you want to achieve. You need to make sacrifices.
They wake up every morning and go to blogs and comment about their stupidity that they inherited from their parents. Let me tell you something. The other day I was correcting somebody English. They now came and told me, English no be your mama language. Say they see yourself. You want Japa? You want go there, go they speak Ojogbo now. Go there, they say you need IELTS. Say no. Or go they speak Ibana. Need the IELTS. Kin ma fe fi say. Bola fi kawa ni body bada. Bola fi kawa. You need to understand that. Let me tell you, the reason why some of you are stagnant is because your brain has stopped working 4 or 5 days after you were born. The brain just coordinates your motor skills. You can carry a bat to your mouth. You can cross the road. Be that function in your head. Because if it did, you are abusing TMU. But have you sat down to actually think of your own life? They say, they correct you in English. The first thing that come out is English, my language. How many physics books were written in Yoruba? How many chemical engineering books are written in Igbo? I want to ask you today, how many business books, accounting books, how many of them are written in Fufuldi or Fulani or Efik? You come there puffed up like the king of bed bugs. They tell you to go and learn it. You say, is it my language? Until your language starts production and education, you will continue having to learn in other people's life. If you don't like English, choose French. But that you will not know a global language is a lie. And if you don't like French too, there is Mandarin, there is Japa. Go and learn those languages. Cantonese, go and learn those languages. They will help you. But that you sit down and you think it is Igbo language that will take you anywhere you are going in this life, and you want to Japa, you want to be a compound fool. If it is Yoruba language you think will carry you into Canada, Canada speaks 2 languages, either English or French. You don't know English, no French. But that go there and tell them it's Yoruba, you know. Ori Efe Burunio is that chosen to be unfortunate. So please, 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 these IELTS that you are shouting about is because you don't know English. Many of you went to university in Nigeria and are sought. Females, now you sleep with your lecturers. This Zino that you are looking at was working in an oil company before she got laid off. So all of you that went to university, and they know they sleep with lecturer for Canada. Oh. No. Please, let's be telling ourselves the truth. Because some of you believe that. We can just enter that Canada. By the time I knock first class, it doesn't work like that there. Oh. That book that you're not reading UI, you will read it in Canada. Oh. Some of you had 2-1. I was talking to one girl that studied engineering. So I asked her one engineering question. Me, where I not be engineer. Imagine a non-engineer asking an engineer an engineering question, and the engineer did not know it. Obviously, I knew it was not book. She went to that university to read. People need to protect themselves, and they don't sort. All of you guys,
you know, the funny thing is that compared to Nigeria, even studying abroad is a lot more easier because first of all, they teach you. You have the resources, you have internet, you have the books, you have access to library. So for anybody that actually wants to work, you work. The professors here, they run open door policy. So you don't understand what they have taught you. You have questions, you go, they will don't beat down for you. They will explain it to you the way you would understand it. And then it's not like Nigeria where you are waiting an exam is 100%, right? So you're already building up your grade from the beginning. Assignment contributes. You do mini project on the course that you are working on. So before people get very good grades here. You see, even people that maybe in Nigeria they got third class, they come to Canada, UK, US, and they perform very well in their studies. So I think that even the education abroad is way easier. Anyone have been able to graduate from a Nigerian university. If the person comes abroad and the person actually puts their head down to go to that school, they will be able to, they will succeed. Even me with my 2-year-old and juggling everything, I still was able to make it. I don't see any reason why. I tell people, like, I'm not the smartest person, right? But I work hard. I read. And if you put something in paper, I'm not one of those people that will not read it. If I want to look for information, the first thing I will look for, I will Google, I will look for a book to read. So I read a lot, right? So, and this is what I tell people, that you need to be ready to read things. So, like, it does not take you 1 second or 1 minute. Sometimes when I post something, so people will not, I know that people don't read it, they don't read it. And then change this your mindset. Start thinking about how can I, because mindset is what limits people a lot, is their mindset. How can I achieve this thing? How can I do this thing? There was one guy that sent me a message, him and his wife and his 2 children, they got their Canadian visas approved. This person did everything by himself. And this was the message that he sent me, that he always hears me every time on Instagram saying, yeah, you can do this thing yourself, you can do it yourself. So he went to my YouTube, watched all my YouTube videos. He said, Zino, I came with my notebook and I took notes. Before then, he said he had paid an agent to help him to apply for school for his wife. The agent collected his money, admission they did not see. It was going to 1 year. They were waiting. Nothing happened. So he heard me on Instagram saying you can do it yourself. So he went to YouTube, watched the videos, he took notes. He applied for admission for his wife. The wife got the admission. Then he applied for, somebody said, thank you, Zino. I came here with 2 children, 6 years and 1 year, and I succeeded. This is the reason why I say what I say and I do the things that I do. So when he applied for the admission, the wife got the admission. Then he went ahead and started doing the visa application. He said it as, I watched all your Instagram videos and all your YouTube videos. I did the application for my wife and my children. All of us applied at the same time. They got their visas. Again, another person will hear this thing and they are thinking that it is not possible. At the end of the day, whatever you think will work for you, work for you. If you say something will not work for you, it will not work for you. Mindset is what limits a lot of people. All they say, when they hear something is not possible, they will not even keep an open mind to receive information. They just say, yes, it's not possible. She's lying. It will not work. And she just they talk. She's deceiving us. Well, if that is what you think, and that's why the things that you do, you will not even try, you will not even attempt to do it in the first place, because you already have that bias that is not going to work. So people, we need to begin to re-engineer our mindset. You have to start thinking of how you can make things work. I was saying that somebody got funding in the US. A lot of people were saying that you cannot get it in Canada. But I mentioned it here, that this person got funding in the US. The US, there are lots of scholarship opportunities, lots of assistantships there. If you want to go to school and you want funding, the US is like a land of opportunities. Go there, you would find the opportunity. But if you say that it will not work for you, it will not work. Somebody says, Madam, Canada is not easy. Tell people the truth. I just address people with your mindsets now. Let me tell you something. I went to Niagara Falls, and when you go to Niagara Falls, there are 2 options for you to see the falls. You can either do like this, their boat ride, where they'll take a group of people and you see, yes, in the waterfalls, or they have this helicopter ride where you pay whether $100 or $150, and you enter inside, like it's the helicopter that's what they use the helicopter for people to see Niagara Falls from the top. So I posted the video on Instagram, and somebody commented and said, Madam, stop lying. This is not how Canada is. As I told her that it's not my fault that you don't have $100 to pay to go and see helicopter ride. Like, this is what I'm talking about the mindsets. Because this is not a block that is not possible. And it was another person that now went there and responded to her, but this thing is $100 in Niagara Falls. So because she has blocked her mind to say that, okay, for her, maybe in her life, she would never enter helicopter. That's why she thinks that she now came and said, it's the same thing this person is saying, that, yeah, tell them that. Did I ever say that when you come to Canada, you would work on action? But it gets easier. Look to people that have succeeded. succeeded. I tell people this all the time and ask them how they did it. How did they do it? This is what you should be doing.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Wherever you're watching from, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, her handle is Zino Ojogbo. Zino is spelled Z. If you are in America, it is Z. Z or Z. ZINOOJOGBO. Send her a message now. The problem with you people is una too like to be dull things. Una go talk, say una go send that later, send that later. By the time una life problems accumulate for your head, before you una go fit see the end, if you reach 3 weeks. Zino Ojogbo across platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. There are 750 people watching now on Instagram. All of you who are interested on relocating. Some of you are already in the UK, and you know, say UK will begin hard from next year. Let's say a big thank you to our lovely brother, Tiami.
But the freeze, they had already said that before they interviewed that guy, they had already said that they were not going to bring in dependents again.
I like to blame somebody, so we are blaming Tiami now. So, waiting Tiami, you talk now 100% truth. You know your conscience that he did not lie. The problem is if you no go talk him for where he talk him, but you know say, and as he don't talk him, no lie, and they know. Some of you did that. You have 2 options: better yourself or come back home. Bola Tinubu is about to be sworn in. I pray that Nigeria becomes greater, because where it is right now, it is better to go and be a cow in Daura than to be a human being moving around in other parts of Nigeria. So just judge your own situation before you jump. Those of you abroad, you see, some people have relocated and they can relocate. When you hear relocate, you think it's only you that are selling spare parts in Ajegunle. No. That man in the UK can relocate to the US. That man in the UK can relocate to Canada. You can, if it just be like marriage. Not be say because you marry person, you must die with the person. Person they beat you, person they cheat on you. Until he give you HIV, now you go get brain. You leave the marriage, and when you leave the marriage, it does not say you cannot marry another person. So the fact that you have already married in abroad does not mean you cannot divorce UK and go and marry Canada. A lot of you are stuck because anywhere you reach, I know if you move from there, it'll be like tree. You get
even they move, at least they move their roots.
so think about it. If you're in the UK, and right now, let me tell you, yeah, one of the worst places to be right now is actually the US, because the US is about to be hit with a blow. I'll explain this to you. The US global dominance of the economy is about to be hit with an abrupt end. China, Russia, and many parts of Africa are tired of the dollar dictating their economies. And if they do, let me use style and warn you, the US will just sit down, smoke small shisha, eat burger, drink beer, and decide what value they want to give to their dollar. And the whole world has to comply. The moment the base currency is no longer the dollar, the US will have to tell us why their $100 is actually worth $100. And to be honest, they don't have that much gold backing anything up. So just prepare for a banking and housing crisis in the US. I say leave that talk, and I know they like to hear talk. Don't worry, I will remind you 3 years from now. Say I tell you. Canada, on the other hand, because it is still very virgin, the opportunities in Canada are much better. The UK is the US boyfriend. The US is male, by the way, so you can tell the kind of relationship the UK has with the US. So they are always together. So anything that happens to the US, the boyfriend will suffer. If they sack wife for work, just know say husband go join and suffer. That's the same way with the UK and the US. Anything that happens to the UK or the US will hear it. So if you are in the UK right now, you can also start thinking, because forget the one way they don't use I warn you. The one way they happen to them still they road. Because the UK and the US have dominated the world currencies. And these people have said no more. We are not doing again. So wherever you are, be with an open mind. Ask Zino some questions. They did not plant you in the UK. They did not chain you to the UK or the US. Sometimes you need to see other things. Always ask. They say who they ask, no, they lost. That's my opinion. I want to hand over you guys to Zino. She might have a few more things to say. Once again, if you're watching on TikTok, it's Zino Ojogbo. Z-I-N-O. Zino Ojogbo. Someone says, let me just read it. Not at all. The US will never give anyone the opportunity to outshine them. The problem with you is you think they are giving. They've been locked in one corner. They are there shaking. It's just because they are using, unless maybe Donald Trump enters. Donald Trump knows how to manage Russia. He knows how to manage all this China. He's very good. Donald Trump even had a meeting with Kim Jong-un. Never before happened. So maybe Donald Trump will manage it. But if it's not Donald Trump, if it's this Oyinbo with Oyinbo hair, we think they go use it and do when I go realize, say America no be as they make up for paper. So prepare yourselves. Think of other opportunities. Go with the times. If you are a Nigerian, one of the, you know, I mean, you are using dollar. Me too, I use dollar. I get paid in dollars. So I'm worried already. I don't even know whether I should start converting some to Naira. But Naira too, no, they get sense. Today it will go up, tomorrow it will come down. One day it will just say half of floor, they sit down, they look you. So thing is, move to economies that are vibrant. The Canadian economy is vibrant. Think of Canada. If you are in the UK, nobody say UK no good, though, but think of your opportunities. Zino might not be able to help you with relocating your family as a mechanic or a plumber. Skills are what she's selling is education. Go school, get masters, get another masters, get PhD, do postgraduate studies. She can advise. Her handle is at Zino Ojogbo across every available platform. So Zino, what are your parting words to the people, and any specific thing they should look out for?
Okay, so if you go and click on the link in my bio, I have a free study abroad webinar there that can get you started on your relocation via study abroad. So you can go there, go to my handle, click the link in my bio. You can start from there, watch the free webinar. The webinar would explain the opportunities that they have for you, and you can take it from there. If you have any, I see a lot of people saying that you've not answered any questions. We've not been able to take questions here, right? So if you have any questions, you can. My DM is open. I run open.
Zino, do you want people to ask you questions?
Yeah, they can ask questions if they have questions.
All right.
But everybody, link in my bio. Go there and watch the free study abroad.
Question? Type I have a question, then send me a request. Do you have a question?
Yeah, the question should be related to studying abroad.
Don't worry. Let them ask stupid questions. You see the way I'll go first curse them, come delete them. Now today they're gonna say I know well. We are talking about education. You want to come and talk about something else. You will just know. I have home training where your mama and your papa forget to give you. Go get on this night. Crash course. You know what it's called? Crash course. You go get a tapali. So anybody with questions? Someone says any culinary school.
They have culinary schools in Canada, of course. So I know that at least there's one college that I drive past every day here. I see them sometimes in the kitchen cooking. So those people are doing their culinary school program. So yeah, they have opportunities for people that want to go to culinary schools.
Okay, Buki Doe says, I have a question. All right, so send me a request so I can invite you.
Yeah. So while we are waiting, guys, after this live session, just go to my handle at Zino Ojogbo, click the link in my bio. You can watch the free study abroad webinar to get you started on your journey.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Bukido. So I'm currently studying in the UK and I'll be done in January. So I want to ask, is it possible to get a scholarship in Canada for another master's?
Yes, it's possible for you to get a scholarship in Canada for another master. So you can either do another master's, you can do a PhD, and it's possible for you to get a scholarship. Yeah. So when are you graduating?
January.
Okay, so you should actually start searching now, because the way it works is that some schools may require you to find a supervisor, some may not require you to find a supervisor. They just tell you that, okay, you can submit your application, and based on your application, you'll be considered for both admission and funding. So this is the time for you to actually start, so that if you need to find a supervisor, you can start writing the supervisors. If you just need to apply for the schools that require you to just submit an application and then your admission will come with funding, those ones are even more competitive. It means that you have to submit a solid application. Your application documents should be solid. So your statement of purpose, your CV, your reference letter, your writing sample, if they ask for that. And it takes time for you to actually come up with something that is competitive. So you should actually start now. I had a friend who, when she was schooling in Sweden, after her first year, because her master's was for 2 years, after her first year, that's when she secured her funding in Canada to do a PhD. So start early, use your transcript. You may be thinking about transcript. Use your transcript up to the point that you are now. You should be able to get the transcript up to how far you have studied. So you can use that and do the application.
Okay, because this is just for a year, so and we only have 2 trimesters. The second trimester finishes in September, so no much transcript. We're only offering 6 courses, so just 3 courses done so far. Second trimester starts next week, so that's what I'm asking.
Oh, which one trimester?
Sorry?
I say, which one be trimester? You get belly.
That's what it's called here. They don't use semester here. They use trimester.
Trimester. Yeah. Trimester.
Yes. So first trimester is January to May. Second is June to September. The third is September to December. So the third is for your thesis, your dissertation. That's when you do your dissertations. So,
okay. Start now. You should start now.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm so grateful.
You're welcome.
What else with a question? Thank you, my brother. Help me leave so I can invite one more person.
All right.
You know, person abroad, you go to hear terms where you know here for Unilag. Hello, darkness. How are you?
No lies.
This one definitely wants to relocate. Nepa don't show and shaggy. Who else has question? No. Kai. Bele. Make I just remove him.
Actually, there's one question I see here. I want to address it. Somebody said, don't do masters in Canada. Why not come to Canada through the PR route? This is a very good question, and I'd like to answer it. So now there is a way to come to Canada via the permanent resident route. So it means that you can apply for permanent residency from your home country. But there are factors that they consider, and many people cannot even meet the requirements. So this is a point-based system. It's a point-based system, and they consider you based on your education, your level of education, your work experience, your language score. There's a 4th requirement, I don't remember now. So based on that, you are going to get points. And it's like a point, and your age, your level of work experience, your educational degree, your age, and your English test scores. Based on that, you will get points. Now, for many people, right now, today they did a draw where they invited people that have scores over 488. So if you have 488 and above, then they will send you an invitation to apply for permanent residence. Now, if you have only a bachelor's degree and you have crossed, in fact, no matter your age, if you have only a bachelor's degree, you would not even get up to the minimum points for them to invite you for permanent residence. Yeah, somebody says siblings. If you have siblings, you get an extra 15 points. So if you have only a bachelor's degree, you would not meet the requirements. So this is the reason many people do not meet the minimum score for them to get an invitation to apply. And this is why a lot of people just come through the study route so that they can get more points after studying in Canada. So while that express entry is available, many people would not meet the minimum score because of these requirements that I have mentioned. And everybody can go and do their scores. Go and calculate your scores. If you Google CRS2 calculator, just Google it. You would see the official tool on the Canada.ca website. You can use that to calculate your own score. I'm going to tell you what to do. Many of you already, I know that you don't have English tests, but when they ask you about if you have done any English tests, say yes, just for the calculation. You're not submitting, that is just a calculator. So you're not submitting it anywhere, so you will not get into any trouble. So just say yes. Then in the English score, in listening, choose 8. All the others choose 9, choose 7, or play with English score as you like and feel it. You would see your points that you get. If you don't get up to the minimum, you will not receive an invitation to apply. So this is why many people are not able to come directly via the PR route. My God, this baby is so much.
They una don't hear now. PR route, not be as easy as it be. Una go score points tire. And you, for instance, where if they score your point now, you know, even if you get 90, we look of people where they 400. Just they follow yourself, talk through. It better make you do Nigeria, they do other rider work. That make you go to complicate your life for Canada. But those of you that are ready to go through the educational route, those of you who want to go learn book, those of you where your head still correct, where you still sharp. Hey, that's what became Mama. And guess what? She's doing her PhD. You are that blessing. I want this I talk to. You don't get picking. You don't get dependents. One day, your case they easy. Don't gentle. On speaking, Mama, I don't know which juju Mama they do picking. On speaking, say Mama they calm.
I've had to go and bring.
Hey, baby.
The cry was too much. Say hi. The cry was too much.
When I hear the cry, myself one panic. I say the pikin just they look better.
Yeah, I have to go and bring her.
Hello, gorgeous.
Okay.
So that's as far as we can go. Zino, once again, across all platforms, take down the handle Zino Ojogbo. We've had at least 800 people watching us steady from the beginning of this live till now. You must have gone home with something. Something supposed gum you. You not just feel day the way you day, make you continue to day the way you day. And that is why they say Christ came and some people did not accept him. If you are in an opportunity where there is knowledge, accept knowledge. Find out. It might not be for you, but ask questions. Ladies and gentlemen, across all platforms, it's Zino Ojogbo. This is the best time to have this conversation. I was talking to Zino about this earlier on today. Right now, immigration is a top topic in the UK. And it's a top topic in Nigeria. When you bash Tiami, you finish. Just know, say Tiami, you don't relocate to.
Yeah.
When you bash and finish, just know, say you still there where you there for Ajegunle. Watching me from Meron, I hate you. How Meron, how Alagba do. Those of you watching from Ojo and Ojota, I hate you now. When you abuse Tiami, you finish. Tiami, you don't cross over. You still there. So,
that's yeah, see something. They are going to bring all his old pictures, his old videos, his old posts on more.
They say Tiami, you
not joking at all.
Whether I be police or whether I be man or you still there. grab the opportunity, or ask your question, or see fine picking with to say this girl follow you the remain for Nigeria. She go born this kind of picking we find like this.
I'll use sunscreen. I'll use sunscreen.
Some of you in Nigeria when I born picking, the picking black like you, can't they bleach the picking? Women are great people though. Because the mama don't go brisky. Some born picking way black. They'll come be like this, they'll come begin they bleach the picking so that they could look the same. God, they judge you now. Go abroad. This Canadian men know they cheat too. They know be like Nigeria. They know wire them like Nigeria. If they cheat, their wife go carry their house. Nigeria, the husband go pick on you, nothing you go do. The day where you vet, you go carry your suitcase, go. You know, go even call you Uber. You go carry the gate from gate pick downfall. When you marry abroad, it is sweet too. Oyinbo sabi take care of woman. They go light you candle. Niger man feel like if a Niger man light you candle, just know saying this will one finish. If they prepare, but with their 24 hours electricity, they will light you candle you. As in, you want to have a different kind of life. They born you and suffer together for the same. See us speaking, they laugh for my joke. Hey baby.
Laugh.
Hey, you see her hair. Chai. Ada wants to relocate, go Canada. They relocate. And let me tell you, Zino did not get papers because of man. No, she got her papers before she met her man. Yeah. Me, I used to, before even me, I used to have this Zino child. Zino, when they do us while they would do us. Until she said it to me herself, I said, no, before I met my man, I already had permanent residence. Zino has obtained, you've not talked about this, and I want you to talk about this in real quick. Zino has obtained $400,000 worth of scholarship. So,
yeah,
being paid to go to school. Tell us about this.
Okay, yeah. So, when I came with the basic scholarship. I got scholarship from the institution, and that was I used to come. And ever since then, I continued applying for scholarship. And since when I came to Canada, I've been able to secure over $400,000 in scholarship. Like, I don't have to do any additional work while I'm going to school because my scholarship is enough for me. It covers myself and my living expense, right? It covers my tuition, covers my living expense, even helps me to have savings. So, yeah. And this is why I teach this thing, because I tell people that it's possible. These opportunities exist. And sincerely, there are some scholarships that even receive no application. And I remember when I was doing these applications then, some of them, even if it's $500, I will apply. Anything, as long as there's money there, anything I apply. So, and that's how I was able to do it. And I tell people that these opportunities exist. It's possible. You are deserving of an opportunity like this. You first of all have to believe that you need to put in the work. You need to put in the work. It did not fall on my lap. I did multiple applications. Okay, someone asking me which university. I go to the University of Waterloo. University of Waterloo is in Ontario. You can Google it.
Now, I want to ask you a question. How do these scholarships work? Do they pay you the money? And if they pay you the money, what do you have to give back to the school? Okay,
yeah, so they pay you the money. So the way it works is that you have like a school account. On your school account, it will show you how much money you have there. So let's say you have $10,000. Then they will deduct your tuition fee from there, and then they'll pay the balance into your bank account. So it depends on the kind of scholarship you get. In Canada, most of the people that get scholarship, they are research assistants. Research assistants means that you are working in a research lab under a professor. Research lab is not necessarily a place. For some people, their research lab is a place, but the way they call research labs here is a group. So not everybody goes into like a physical lab to go and be doing something. Some people, their research lab is that they are doing research where they are like doing surveys. Some people do coding. They don't need to be like they work on their computers, but you work with a group of people under the supervision of a professor who is a lecturer, a professor in the university, is the principal investigator. So because you are doing research in that lab, that is like the school, they are paying you for doing the research. At the end of the day, you produce a thesis as part of your degree. So that's where this money comes from. in Canada. Other opportunities exist where you're like a teaching assistant. The teaching assistant is an assistant to a professor who is teaching. So let's say that somebody is teaching a course and you're there to assist him. Most of them don't teach. Like you grade, you proctor exam, you're invigilating exam, you do grading, and some people, that's how their funding come. You have to be a teaching assistant for you to get that funding. So the funding comes in different ways. Like for me, my department, I can, even though I work under a professor who is paying me. Right now, professor doesn't have to pay me because I have federal government scholarship. But you can also get that teaching assistantship as extra, where you make extra money every month. So again, there are different ways this money comes. In the US, they have something that they call graduate assistantship. You could be working anywhere in the university, maybe as an admin officer, working in the hostel, like as so this, like the people that help people to show them their rooms in the hostel, working in parking services, working as a secretary in your department. So the funding comes in different ways. And if you go, now this is where I want to tell people to go and read. If you go to the website of the university, check there, go and check their funding and financial aid websites. All of these things I'm saying, you find it there. Funding, financial aid. All of these things, you will find it there. So go and check. You will see it there.
Awesome. All right, guys. That's as far as we can go. We've been on for almost an hour, 30 minutes. Of course, 10 minutes of it was used to look up and down to get her going. But the devil that wanted to prevent you from hearing something good today has been put to shame. You have heard it. UK may be blocked from next year, but your destiny remains intact. The only thing is we are Canada. Yay. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wherever in the world you're watching from, remember, this is the educational route. Don't waste your time or Zino's by asking for anything that has nothing to do with education. But if education is your call, and if you want to better your lot via education, this is a good opportunity for you. And I'll advise that you do check it out. Take care. God bless. Zino, thank you so much for joining.
For having me, guys. My DM is open. If we've not answered your questions, feel free, come and send me a DM. I'll respond to you. Thank you so much.
A DM is waiting to answer your questions. Send her a DM. Zino is spelled Z-I-N-O or Z-I-N-O, depending on what part of the world you're from. Ojogbo is O-J-O-G-B-O. O-J-O-G-B-O. Someone said it's not easy like that. Tiami is abroad. Zino is abroad. Daddy goes abroad. But you are in Nigeria saying it's not easy like that. It will continue to be hard for you. Kishekwe. Contact Zino Ojogbo, Z-I-N-O-O-J-O-B-O. Always remember that financial decisions taken are your responsibility. They are all your financial decisions are your decisions, not Daddy Free's decisions. So you don't call me, I'm a mechanic. I wanted to Japa, and then all of a sudden I realized that they are not doing Japa for mechanic. Thank you so much, baby. Goodbye, and regards to your son.
Goodbye.